Hello everyone, this is Kim from The Creative Card and welcome to my 10 cards 1 kit video. I am so excited to be guest designing today for Love from Lizi and featuring the December 18 card kit. This is a wonderful kit this month and filled with gorgeous paper and embellishments. There are some great stash building pieces included in the kit such as stamps, Nouveau drops, stencils, and embossing powders. In other words, lots of things to make more cards with in the near future. The kit has already been mailed out to the monthly subscribers that she has, and there are a limited number available in her shop, but they sell out fast, so check out the website soon to get yours. For card number 1, I'm going to create a nice little simple plaid thank you card. I've just started with an A2 size cream base and matted it with green and then matted it down with the plaid paper. Love this plaid paper. It has a bit of spot gloss so it shimmers and just catches the light. Next I'm just going to add a nice little 1-inch strip of the same green and match it with a linen paper that was in the kit as well that has the same plum colors in it. Just going to layer that up and going to add on some twine. I'm just going to run it around the back and adhere it to the front of the card. Simple and just adds another touch of detail to the front without adding much bulk at all. For the last little embellishment, I just cut a 2-inch circle out of the same plum colored linen paper and then another 1 3/4 inch out of the green and used the sweet little die that says thank you that's included in this kit. And that completes this card once I attach it to the front. I absolutely love this die. It is going to get so much use in my craft studio. For my second card, I'm going to create a sympathy card. For some reason, I always gravitate to using butterflies on sympathy cards. I just find them calming and just easy to work with, and I just found it perfect for this sweet color combination and the image. So I started with an A2 card base and I matted with the purple and the butterfly paper, both from the kit. Then I created a second layer using the same papers in 3x4, mounted it with some foam. And in here you can see I'm adding just a little bit of sheer purple ribbon off to the side that matches from my stash. And I just snipped off the ends, cleaned it up a little, kept it low, nice profile for the mail. Then I wanted to add a sentiment, so I dug out a little thin Hero Arts with Deepest Sympathy stamp set, mounted on another piece, and mounted it onto the cream paper again. And then I'm just going to add it straight across the middle, keeping it simple and classy, and a much longer sentiment for the inside. For card number 3, I'm making a cute little banner thank you card. I started with the dark gray cardstock that was included in the kit and I matted it with white paper. I added the white to make sure the polka dots in the next layer would pop and keep it nice and bright. After it was all assembled, I used 5 of the little triangles from the embellishment kit. There was an adorable pack of bunting and triangles in this kit, and you could make so many cards in the future with it. I'm excited to see what else I can do with it. For now, I just took 3 of the large gray ones and 2 small triangles and added onto the card front. For the yellow ones, I added a touch of foam behind each just to add dimension. I used the jute twine in the kit to create little bows at the end. It looks like it's hanging from each side of the card. For the final piece, I've just added the thank you sticker that was included in the sticker sheet. What a great card to have in your stash. For card number 4, I do apologize. This is not the best filming. I was having some camera issues as well as I'm a little bit out of the frame, but you do get the idea, and you can certainly see a closer up in the stills at the end and also well on my blog. So here I am matting a blue sheet where you can see I have cut out the frame. I do this often because it's going to be the framework for the shaker, but it also just saves paper because nobody's going to see it anyways because the yellow is going to go right over top. It's a great way to get more from your supplies. Next off, I used a white piece of cardstock that was included. It is Copic friendly, so it was just a touch of yellow was added into the butterfly wings, and then I adhered it to the yellow paper. Next, I need to make my actual shaker. So I'm going to rub my anti-static tool so all the little sequins don't stick everywhere. Then I'm going to add the gorgeous sequin mix. Her kits always include just fabulous colors that just blend so well with the papers. So there you can see the frame that I cut out earlier, and I've simply added acetate. And then I framed it up around with the Love from Lizi peel-offs. Just adds a little bit of sparkle and certainly grabs the blue that's in the paper. So pulls it all together. I absolutely love peel-offs. And I'm just adhering it here to my card front. And next I'll finish off with the butterfly that's going to sit in the corner. I stamped it off camera, and I just once again hit it with a Y23 Copic marker, and I'm just going to stick it to the corner, and you have a cute little shaker card for a birthday. For card number 5, it's just a simple little matted card that I have created. I'm just going to use an A2 card base, and I cut down 2 of the coordinating papers from the kit that I cut down to 1/8 of an inch smaller, and then I actually used, for the purple paper, I used a die that has a stitched frame on it. It's kind of tough to see here in the video, but it has a very subtle stitched frame. I then went ahead and added a piece of ribbon widthwise around it because it matched the back paper just so pretty. Then I cut a 2-inch oval out of it using another die that has the same stitch around the edging. And I'm just going to go ahead and leave that. It has a nice subtle sheen to it and sparkle, so I want to keep it fairly simple. And to finish it off, I'm just going to add the With Love sentiment and a matching little butterfly. So a great little card to just tuck away when you need to write a quick note to somebody. For card number 6, I'm going to feature one of the sentiment stamps that was included in the kit. I just love the 3 sentiments that were a part of this month's kit. They're just great to have in your stash and to be adding to lots of different cards. I've started with a 5x7 card base in light pink. This is one of my favorite sizes to work with, actually. I know it's not the standard size, but it's just kind of how I roll and I like it. I started with a green mat to complement the green leaves that were in the pink dainty floral that I put on top of it. It just kind of ties it all together with the pink and the green. Then I made a 2-inch banner that's just notched at the end, and I've tied it with a little scrap of the jute twine that I had. And then I'm going to add it to the side, and it just gives it a nice different focal point to look at. As you can see, it was a scrap of green and Christmas paper that went on there. That's what's on my work desk right now. Okay, so now I'm just going to do the stamp. I stamped it off screen. I just used black Versamark, and I just did it on another scrap of the matching pink, and I mounted it on a 2.5-inch square of the same green that I used previously for the card mat. Just going to go ahead and add that on. And then I'm just going to finish it off with one of the little stickers, the puffy bird stickers that was included. And I'm going to also put 3 little drops of the Nouveau plum pudding at the top just to add some shine. I just love the color of this purple in this kit. It is going to get a lot of use as well. So once again, great card, different occasions. You can easily make it happy birthday or a thank you. For card number 7, it's one of my more detailed cards that I had used in the kit, but I love how it turns out in the end. I've just cut 2 patterned papers and distressed the edges with a bit of sanding and a bit of ink. Just gives it a nice worn and more of a vintage feel. I did some stenciling over top and heat embossing using the ivory embossing powder that's included in the kit, and I love how it turned into more of a gold sheen on top of the lace paper. It just gave it another layer of depth without adding any bulk to it. I just simply did that using Versamark and the embossing powder and heat set. Once I was done with that, I wanted to pull out the gold, so I used the gold strip from the kit, and it matches the embossing quite nicely. And then I'm going to add some more gold detail by adding a bit of paint splatter onto the doily and cut it in half and added that down. Next, I'm just going to bring in a little piece of the ribbon that I also had added some of the brown ink that you saw me use earlier on the distressing of the edges of the paper. I just kind of tapped it all around and give it a little rough up. Just adds more. Now I'm going to go ahead and just attach it to my A2 card base in ivory, piece that was included in the kit as well. And just it's nice and firm base to start mounting up your floral focal point at this point. I'm going to use the 2 paper flowers that were included in the kit, and I just wanted that to really make it all pop, so that's where I'm going to build from. So I've just added some sticky dots to the back and I'm adhering them on. I just used the large and the small. Then I'm going to add the special days sticker, and as you can see, I've sanded it again, taken off any excess, and added a bit of ink. And once again, just like all the paper, it adds it more distressing to it, and I tuck it in. Just gives it all a vintage vibe. I wanted to add some leaf, so I used some paper that was in the kit, but I just used a couple dies. I believe they're from Gina K, and I just cut them out and tucked them in there. And I wrinkled them up before I put them onto the page. It gives that worn look, and it gives more rather than just being flat. I also had some filigrees that I used from the same purple plum paper that was used in the matting. I just cut the filigrees out of there and glued those in and tucked them just deep inside by the flower. Last, I'm just going to add a couple of the little pearl gems, and I used the pink and the white and the cream colored and just scattered them all around. Anyways, lots of different layers for this card, but it really turned out, I just love this card, really. For card number 8, I'm going to feature the lace for this card front. I cut off several pieces of the lace in ivory and in white, and I cut myself a scrap piece of paper that was 3 by 4, and I just covered it and alternated between the ivory and the white all the way down. In total, I had 11 pieces on there. It didn't take much at all. I just ran some adhesive along the side and stuck them one by one down. I then went ahead and I've mounted it on a piece of dark purple that I had in my stash. I knew I was going to work with the dark purple flowers that were included in the kit, so I wanted to draw out that purple as well. So it's a nice little match and complements them very well. So just going to go ahead here and attach this to our card front, which is an A2 size. I also added a tiny bit of ink around the edge in a soft plum color. That wasn't included in the kit, I just had it as well on my desk. So then I'm going to give it lots of pressure to make sure it's really stuck down. I took a part of flower here just to use as leaves, even though it is an actual flower. I just wanted them to have a nice little point of bright behind the dark purple, and I just thought it was a nice complement to the darker shades that were on the card. I have just added sticky circles to the back, and I'm attaching it to and giving a nice good firm press into that lace to make sure they don't move around. Then I'm going to use some of the leaves that were in the stickers. I'm just going to tuck them in so you can't actually see the flower. I just wanted to really go with the color variants for the leaves on this. So it just kind of pops out and gives them another layer of detail. Then I'm going to also use the Thinking of You sticker and just tuck it into the flowers. Next, to finish it off, I'm going to add some of the pearls. I initially was going to use maybe like some stick pins, but I thought, no, I'll use the pearls that are included in the kit. So I just used the two different sizes in the ivory color, and I just tucked them in amongst the cluster. Made sure everybody was stuck down and not going to go anywhere. For card number 9, I'm going to use the stamp and stencil that is included in this month's kit. I added a 4-inch square of the gray polka dot paper to my card front. And now I'm just going to stamp onto the dark gray cardstock using Versamark and the ivory embossing powder that's included in the kit. I went ahead and then added in the little bodies after it was cooled. I just stamped them in simple in black. I didn't heat emboss those. And then it just gives them more dimension, and I just did the larger bodies, not the little guys. I then decided to mat on the gold cardstock that was included. Initially I had the silver in mind, but once I saw it all heat set, it actually seemed very gold to me, so I went ahead with the gold backing, and I think it works really great even with the gray behind it. Initially I wanted to do like a all white silvery Christmassy butterfly theme, but that just isn't how it turned out in the end. But I still really like how this one is, and it would be really nice for any occasion. Just maybe not so wintry Christmassy as I initially thought. So here I am just adding in several layers of foam squares or foam strips around the edge just to raise it up and add dimension. It's nice that the gold cardstock is so firm, so it gives it a nice thick feeling in your hand. Just going to go ahead and mount that onto my card base, which is actually 5.5 by 5.5 square. Another one of my favorite sizes. For my very last card of the kit, I'm going to just create a very simply designed birthday card. I just chose 2 coordinating pieces of paper from the kit and cut them down to size to go onto an A2 card front. I chose this sweet little polka dot because I thought it was nice and subtle behind this strip of glossy paper that I'm going to finish with, and I didn't want to be too busy. I'm going to just add a piece of ribbon that I had left over from the previous card and adhere it at the back. Make sure it's nice and tight. And then this is the pattern paper I said I really liked. It just has a nice sheen and had the lines already in as a pattern, so I just cut along there and mounted on another little scrap of white before adding it to the card front. Just making sure it's all nice and firm because of the ribbon sometimes can make it a little bit lumpy, so I just want to make sure it was all secure for the mail. So here I'm just going to go ahead and attach it onto my card base, and then I'm just going to finish up with one of the little stickers that I had left, and it reads Happy Birthday. So cute, simple, easy to pop in the mail.